All right, so this is called Turkey, an adaptation of an email by my sister. So you need to get a turkey, preferably one never frozen and not injected with stuff. If you get one with a pop-up thermometer, pull the thing out and don't use it. Use an old-fashioned roast thermometer, put into the thickest part of the thigh and another one stuffed into the deepest part of the stuffing. When both are 160, the turkey is safe to eat. I usually go a little higher, 170. Don't want sick guests. Grandma Jenny's stuffing had dried Italian sausage cut up into it and raisins. Grandma Mary's stuffing was simple, onions and celery. Mom's stuffing was onions, celery, and apples. I like to combine it all. Chop up 2 large white onions, about 5 large stalks of celery, 3 large peeled apples, a stick of dried sweet sausage. Use Genoa salami if you can't find sausage. Remove the casing and dice up about a 1/4 cup of raisins. Soak them in warm water to plump up and mash them up so they disappear into the stuffing. Put a stick of butter into the bottom of a large pot and saute the onions and celery with the sausage. When the onion is looking translucent and everything is softening up, add the apples and raisins. Turn it off. Add 2 large bags of Pepperidge Farm sage and onion stuffing cubes, what Mom and the grandmas always used. What are we using? Real bread. We're using real bread.
Not from the Jersey Turnpike.
Stir. We're using real bread from Bolted Bread in downtown Raleigh, which stone ground their flour. Anyway, okay. Stir. Add in a cup of grated Romano cheese and stir. Pour in a box of Swanson broth, stir, and that will cool it down so you can add in about 4 eggs. I use egg beaters, actually, so I don't have to worry about uncooked egg product. We're using eggs. We use eggs, real eggs, yeah. And it lightens it up since it's egg white only. We're using the whole egg. Let it stand so that the bread cubes soften up from the chicken broth. Now prep the bird. This involves the following steps. Have another pot nearby. Cut off the Pope's nose and toss it into the pot. Add the neck from inside the bird. Cut off the 3rd joint of the wings, the wingtips. Toss into the pot. Add water in a bouillon cube. This is a base for gravy later on. If there are chunks of fat that seem like they should get pulled out, toss that into the pot too. I throw away the giblets and gizzards, liver, heart, etc. Whenever this says I, we're talking about my sister. But I will also throw away the giblets and gizzards. Prep the bird by breaking the fascia layer that holds the skin to the breast and thighs. There's a photo, which we will share separately. And move your hand gently to the left and right to open the cavities that exist naturally between the breast and the thighs. Grab balls of stuffing and put them into the cavity of the bird, into the areas you just created outside the breast near the thighs, under the skin, and also put a big ball of stuffing into the neck cavity. I do not truss my bird. That's where you tie it all up and tighten up the legs. I let it all just be as wide open as I can, and I cram as much stuffing as I can. I will follow the same methodology there. Now keep the bird's breast moist while the legs, thighs, and stuffing all cook through. I soak cheesecloth in a mixture of chicken broth, like Swanson or Pacific, and olive oil. Nothing in here is a promo for any of these companies, by the way. This is just a real live email from my sister that I apparently interpreted into this story, which seems mostly plagiarized. Martha Stewart uses white wine and butter. Use what you want. Get a packet of cheesecloth and open it up and refold it so it's about the size of a large cookie sheet. I put the cheesecloth on the cookie sheet and soak it in the broth and olive oil and put it in the freezer. Right before you put the bird in the oven, note, I do my bird on the grill, and it's going to be 2 birds on the grill. I've got a big ass Weber grill, and instead of doing one 24-pound bird, I'm doing 2 12-pound birds. That's my style. So right before you put the bird in the oven, in my case grill, peel up the frozen, moist, greasy cheesecloth and press it over the breast. This is ridiculous. This chills the breast and slows the cooking of it and keeps the breast moist.
I remember why I asked you to read this now.
During the cooking process, the cheesecloth will dry out, so keep basting. You can baste the homemade gravy base. You can baste with the homemade gravy base you made earlier. Neck, Pope's nose, bouillon, water boiled up so things are nice and cooked through. You can also keep another box of broth on hand and use that too. All this basting will make quite a lot of nice juice in the bottom of the pan you're cooking in. Use something deep-sided. So we use deep-sided, like aluminum disposable pans that go on our grill. Keep basting using the drippings from the pan, and keep that cheesecloth nice and wet, moist and fatty. Whew. When the thermometers are at 160, you can take it off the heat and cover with foil, and it should keep cooking on its own heat, and the temperature will raise a bit more. Immediately remove the stuffing from all cavities and put into a separate casserole for serving, keeping warm. Put the bird onto a carving board. It will ooze some, so something with a rim or place the cutting board onto a large sheet pan to catch the drippings. That's what I do. I try to do things on a cookie sheet when I can. Let the bird rest. Let the bird rest for a good 20 minutes. During this time, you make the mashed potatoes and save the potato water! Exclamation point. Let the potato water settle and pour off the top clear water. Chuck that part. In a large pot for yummy gravy, you put the skimmed, defatted, I use a defatting cup, drippings, any leftover skimmed broth you made earlier, unless you used it all in basting, and the bottom of the potato water. Cook that together and let it boil down to thicken. To thicken it more, add cornstarch that you've dissolved in water. Add salt and pepper to taste. If you want a dark gravy, you can add a tablespoon of Gravy Master, or get fancy and caramelized onions until super dark browned, and add that to the gravy to darken it up. That was confusing. All right, we're in the home stretch here. We always do our green bean casserole in the crock pot. We've diverted to green bean casseroles. Saves oven space. We use frozen green beans, cream of mushroom soup, a little milk, and let that simmer away in the crock pot on low for about 5 hours. Last hour, pour the French fried onions on top. I am not doing a green bean casserole. Instead, I am doing a smoked brisket. I'm doing a smoked brisket. I got the brisket from Corner Post Farm at the North Carolina State Farmers Market in Raleigh. I've got a Weber Smoky Mountain smoker, and I will start the smoke tomorrow. It's right now. It is Tuesday evening, the eve before the eve of Thanksgiving. So I will be starting the brisket tomorrow evening and smoking it through the night. That is the side for my turkeys. I'm just going to keep on going here. Another standard side in our house. And again, this is an email that I plagiarized from my sister and I'm now reading on the internet for the entire world. It is the best turkey we've ever had, by the way, though. Another standard in our house is buttercup squash. Buttercup squash. Interesting. Not butternut squash, buttercup squash. I think it's a typo. Halved, roasted, then mashed with butter and evaporated milk. We also mash our potatoes with evaporated milk. So if you follow the mess above, you'll have turkey, mashed, gravy, stuffing, green bean casserole, and butternut squash for the menu. Add cranberry sauce and you're all set. Aunt Sissies. I think this is Aunt Sissy, but it's spelled interesting. I didn't know that was how Aunt Sissy's name was spelled. Aunt Sissy's pumpkin cake for dessert. Do you remember that? Do you want that recipe? No. If you're listening, I don't want Aunt Sissy's pumpkin cake for dessert. I like pie. FYI, I've done the squash ahead and reheated. Works well. I've done the mashed ahead, saved the water, and reheated. The green bean casserole can get assembled the night before and cooked that day. You can make all the stuffing ahead except the broth and heat that and add it the day of. Best to put slightly warm stuffing into the bird. It helps it to cook. Any questions, just yell, love ya. Signed by my sister. By the way, this was an email that she wrote to me about a decade ago, a little over a decade ago, when Abby and I just moved into the house that we're still living in, that I'm still sitting in right now. And we hosted our first ever Thanksgiving. It was 10 years ago. 10 years ago right now, right? 2015 probably. It was a decade ago. We hosted our first ever Thanksgiving here in this house. And the fridge died. The fridge died a few days before Thanksgiving. And my sister was being super kind and sent me this email to give us all the things we needed to host every single part of an entire Thanksgiving, which the turkey was the best turkey. The best turkey I've ever had in my life was the turkey that we had a decade ago. So we're going to do as much of that as possible again this year. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. This was fun. I'm grateful for everybody that takes the time to listen and try out this turkey recipe. I'll drop the whole entire story into a something somewhere and link to it. All right. Happy Thanksgiving.